Good morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Some of you guys might recognize this black Ford Escape in the bay. This is Haley's car. We're gonna do a little update that I've been wanting to do since we did the initial installation. And you might be asking what it is. What is it, Fernando? Do you know?
New tires.
Pretty close. We've been talking about it on and off all day. We had the car in here for doing something else. I was like, man, why we have it in here? Let's do this update to it. So I've had to explain it to Fernando like 6 times what I want to do because he's like, not paying attention to me. Are you?
What are we doing?
Exactly. For those of you that don't know, this has a kicker key system in it. It has the full kicker key package. We have the key 501 on an L7T in the trunk, 12-inch downfiring. We have KS components. We have KS speakers all the way around. Tweeters up here in the top, mid-bass down here, coaxes in the rear. We have the key 200.4 powering these KS speakers, and it is all powered off of the factory radio. One of the special features about the kicker key is its ability to do 4-channel like we have it here, and or going full active. 2 channels on the tweeters, 2 channels on the mid. It's something that I've wanted to do in this because, well, why not, right? I mean, I'm not particularly fond of the rear speakers. We're going to keep them. We're just going to use the radio to power them. We're going to use the key just to power the fronts. Now, how do you do that? That's a great question. Let's grab one and I'll show you how to set it up to do that. And then we'll hop in the car, pull out the passive crossovers and rewire it. On the end of the amplifier, there is a dip switch panel. There's lines that come off and correspond to text on the right and left sides. These are what program the amplifier to do what you want it to do in your car. The first one up is auto turn on. You have 2 choices, 12 volt or DC. DC is for using DC offset connected to a factory radio. 12 volt is if you're going to be running remote turn on. For our installation, we'll be using the DC offset out of the factory radio. Fader on and off. If you're going to be connecting it to a 4-channel application, leave the fader on. If you're going to be doing it like we're going to be doing it, make sure to turn the fader off, which is down. Compression. This is one of those features I suggest leaving in the default off position until you're done with the system, and then you can turn it on and off and see if you like the way it sounds. By amp mode, on and off. This is the feature we want to turn on for using this as just a front stage amplifier. When you flick this switch, it tells the amplifier while it's programming, doing its auto setup, that channels 1 and 2 are connected to some form of a high frequency speaker, either a tweeter or a 3.5. With the mic, it'll be able to distinguish which one it is and set the appropriate crossover point. Kicker EQ is next. I'm going to leave that engaged. Time delay is after that, and I'm going to leave it in its default engaged as well. The next 2 dip switches are going to be for your high pass crossover. Your first choice is 60, 80, 120, or off if you leave them both up. I like to use 80, which is both of them in the down position. With our amplifier set up, we can now get it into the car. Underneath the front seat is where our amplifier bank lives. We have the 204 as well as our 2 passive crossovers, which are bigger than our amplifier. It's pretty scary how small and how powerful this thing is. The plan is to remove both of these and just connect them to this. The amplifier rack lost a ton of weight. It went on a major diet. Way smaller. It's almost invisible now. Before we get started doing the auto EQ setting, make sure to turn your gains all the way back down. You're starting from scratch. Put your seat back into the position that it needs to go in, just like you did when you first installed it, or if you've never installed it. Make sure you have your seat in the position you're going to be driving in. Don't randomly set it. Sit in the car, line it all up, get it exactly how you had it, because that's important. The microphone is going to go on top of your headrest. The seat is wrong, just won't sound right. Once you have it the way you want it, play your pink noise track. We use the Educar Test and Tune mono pink noise. Make sure all your windows are rolled, doors are closed. Before you start the test, make sure that the subwoofer is disconnected, and also go into the audio settings and fade it all the way to the front. The rears can't be playing. If you had the key installed previously and you're gonna redo it like this, take the program button, hold it for 10 seconds. When you do that, you'll hear a beep and that'll reset the kicker key so that you can then next step is to be quiet while it does its thing. It's gonna make a bunch of strange noises. It takes about 2 minutes. When it's done successfully, you'll hear a happy noise. Hop in, press the button, and when you press the button, everything's gonna go back to full blast. If you wanna be smart, turn it down first, then hit the button. You can A/B between it to see what is EQ'd and not EQ'd. 2 chirps is not, 1 chirp is. It'll be a noticeable difference. The next step, of course, is to sit in it and make sure that it sounds right. You may have to do it again, moving the microphone left or right a couple inches if it's not in the center like you were hoping for. Enjoy. Listen to something you're used to. Like that. Once you're done and you're happy with the way it sounds, now it's time to go through the gain setup procedure that they talk about. Make sure you follow that to the letter. You don't want to overdrive your speakers. Get that all tuned in. Now that we have the gains tweaked and all set, took us a couple minutes, little screwdriver playing back and forth. We need to bring back in those rear speakers because it's still faded to the front and we don't have the subwoofer on. Play it at the level that you're accustomed to, maybe a little less, and then slowly work that fader until you just notice the rears, or unless you like a lot, but I like to bring it up till it's like, they're there and you just kind of like hear them come in, and then of course plug the subwoofer back in. Then do another listen. It's a lot of listening going on, right?
Always a lot.
Always a lot of listening. Now while Fernando is connecting the subwoofer back up, one of the things we didn't show during this is make sure anytime you cut the speaker wires and reconnect them, you do a polarity test, because you could accidentally connect them wrong. Did I do that during this?
No.
He's lying to you. I actually did.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I caught it before that square round wire, so I caught it and then we fixed it before we got to that. It just goes to show, you make sure, always test, test, test. I like it a lot better. To me, it's way more sound. We've been doing this in our customers' vehicles now, pretty much exclusive. When we do a kicker key, we don't ever do them anymore as a 4-channel amplifier. I wanted to get in here and update this desperately because we know how much better it sounds as just a front stage only. If you're thinking of getting one, I would definitely recommend using it as a front stage only amplifier. Along with the car battery almost dying, the camera battery is almost getting ready to die. We're gonna end it there. We've been jamming in here for a while. Fernando, if you please.
I like it. On to the next one, guys.
Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this last update on the kicker key. We've done everything we can with it in this car.
Yep.
If you've missed some of them, make sure you go back and watch them. It's a lot of fun. It's a Haley system, man. You need yourself a Haley system. See you guys. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.